Welcome to my story time about how I planned to run away when I was a child. So, when I was a child, I was living with my grandparents and extended family, aunts, cousins, uncles, the works. But I was the oldest female grandchild in the yard, and as a child, and as a girl child, I had to do most of the chores, if not all of them. I had to catch water, feed the chickens, tie out the goats, clean the house, wash the plates. I had to do all of that in the yard. It was my sole responsibility alone to do the chores. Nobody helps me and nobody took it upon themselves to try and help me. But growing up then, I was so tired because all I did was chores and go to school and come back and more chores and homework and all of that. I was a tired child and I wanted to run away, and I said, you know what, I'm going to run away and live with my mother because I cannot take the abuse in this yard no more. Because if I fail to do any of my chores, beating. If I came home from school and I can't explain why I'm late, beating. If I wash the plates and I broke a plate, beating. If I wash the plates and don't wash the pot, beating. If I did not clean the house one weekend, beating. If I full the water and I don't full all of the drum, beating. And to the people them on my page now when know me when me did smaller, you don't want to lie me I tell. And if you don't want to tell my family so me come and you not talk about it, I don't care because you can't beat me now. Me not care. So I decided one night that I was going to run away. I don't care, me I run away, I'm gonna come back. So I had 3 school bags, 2 newer ones that I was using and an older one that I had stopped using. And I had books in them. So I said, I shake out the books because me I run away, where the hell me I go with book? Me no want a book. I run when me want clothes. So I shake out the book out of the bags and I pack yard clothes, garden clothes, shoes, whatever, into the bags them. I hitch them up on my body. My aunt had pulled up my hair in the day because she was going to take us to the river in the morning to wash our hair and comb it back for school. So she had pulled out our hair in the day and my hair was loose. So I get a scrunchie, catch it up in a one, and I head through the door. No, the runaway I was doing, it was a practice and error and trial runaway. So it wasn't supposed to happen, but if it did happen and it was a success, I was happy. So when I went through the hall door, now I kind of pull in the hall door because the hall door was like a door, like it would lock on if you close it too hard, it would lock you out, but you can open it with ease from the inside. So I said I pull up the door. I'm going to say, you know what, if I can't manage to run with tonight, I'm going to come back to the door. I put up the door and I'm gone. 2 gates down from my house. Me say we all time neighbor where used to live right next door to we, and a cousin of mine that lived further up the road from us. And I saw them talking at his gate and I was like, what are these 2 people doing now, God? When me want to run away, you what? So I said, you know what? I'm going to hide in the bushes. And when they leave, I'm going to come out and continue with the runaway. Because whatever I do tonight, this runaway has to happen. I was there in the bush for what seemed like hours. I don't know how late it was. I did not have a watch. I did not have a phone. I did not have anything to tell me the time, but I knew it was long because the mosquito them did done half near me and did I bite me. Everything. Bush has scratched me up. I was so tired and frustrated. So I said, you know what? I'm going to come out of this bush, go back home and do the runaway. So guys, I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to leave the bush thing and then tomorrow I'm run away because it don't look like it I go work out today. You understand? So I took up my stuff and I head back to the house. When I went on the veranda and I touched the lock on the door, I realized that the door was locked. It seemed as if when I was coming out, I had closed it too hard and it locked me out. So I started to panic and I said, what am I going to do now? I'm locked out of the house. There is no way of getting in. I'm surely definitely going to get caught and I am going to get a beating. And this is going to be a fine beating because you know what I'm doing is not right. So I said, okay, I'm going to sleep on the veranda and take the beating tomorrow. And when the beating cool, I'm going to proceed with the runaway. I was there on the veranda and the dogs come and perplex my soul because I was on their space. Because they have a tendency to sleep on the veranda. So the dogs, them didn't know, and them a ramp with me and them have provoke me and them. Then I'm back after me because it was our dogs. They knew me, but they were playing and they were being a nuisance to me. And I was just, I've had it with these dogs. And I push one and he made some noise. And my grandfather was like, you hear that? And my grandmother was like, yes, it's the dogs. And my grandfather, but it sounds like it's more than just the dogs, man. Somebody must be out there. There is this thieving boy going around in the community that is being a nuisance to everybody. I'm going to go and check it out. My grandfather always keep him cutlass right at the doorway. Two of them to be exact. He had a long one and a hook point. And he always kept them right at his front door. It's like, if you break into my door, me I go mince you up kind of action he had going on. So he took up one and I heard when one hit against the other and it make a sound. When you know metal yeah, make a sound. So when me hear that, I me hear the door of fidget fi open, me take up my bag them and me shut it to the left side of the house to our side where my aunt and I slept. To that room, that side of the house, and I hid at the corner of the wall and I was peeping. And I saw when my grandfather went to their side of the house now, you know, because he must say, tell, see the boy, yeah, man, the thieving boy, we are going, I come in here and disturb people. So he just gone around the back of the house. Take up your flashlight and the machete and back him up on the side there too, we are going to back him up together. My grandmother never hear when my grandfather said she would take the next side, so she went on his side with the machete and the flashlight. So meanwhile, they were there going to the back of the house. I was going through their door. So I went through their front door, their middle door, the passage, the hall, my cousin's room, the passage, and then our room at the front. You understand? I went through the house and went back into bed. Pull up back my hair, shove the bag them so far up under the bed that nobody wouldn't even think to say, look for any bag. I push them all way up underneath the bed. And I lay back down in bed and I cover myself from head to toe and I started to farm sleep. Then me hear my grandparents outside. I called on excitement and he called my uncles and my cousins and the whole neighborhood come down and everybody say a hog head because they're missing this out of their yard. Oh no lie, you know. On tell lie upon that poor boy. Now our house was on a big piece of land. So the front part was the house and the back part was where my grandfather had like wild cane and he had bamboo because he used to make shrimp pot. So everybody was saying, he must go down a land bottom, man. He must go down a land bottom. So I heard the commotion outside and I came out like I was sleeping. And I asked my grandmother, Mama, I want her. And she said, no, they want thief in haghead in the yard. And your grandfather catch him on the veranda, but he run off. And everybody gone down a land bottom, gonna look for him because them are going to mince him up. Now everybody in the neighborhood come with a little something for beat the boy in the poor him with an alive, you know. But too bad if them did catch me an alive, you know. You know wouldn't know me today, you know. How them would have do me, you know. All my father him come boy and come with machete. Them would have analyze me, you know. Lord Jesus. Anyway, I decided that I was going to help them look for hoghead because no hoghead you have to go down. You have to go down to tonight. Because what you doing in our yard, hoghead? Hoghead, what you doing in our yard? So while everybody was there in the back of the yard and the Maros looking for hoghead, I was also there helping to look for hoghead because hoghead, why you do it? Hoghead, why you do it? Mr. People, when I see the amount of people will come out to look for hoghead, you know, master. I say, if them they catch me unalive. No, sir. Come to think of it. And I did not proceed with the runaway again because, no, sir, master, if them they catch me that night there, me wouldn't be able to tell another story. How do I do it? You're so safe. If you stop walking and thief out people things out of the yard. About to come and sleep on my veranda. My grandfather did and God me gathered his soul into peace. If him did ever know, see me, right now he would have still alive me. Hey, Me never get to do the runaway, you know, for after them the action, them ask who no attack me, never.